Hi guys, my name is Tom Antos, and today I wanted to do a quick review about my new favorite monitor, which is the VS-3 from Aputure. Now, my previous most favorite monitor was the VS-2 also from Aputure. So that's the one that I have up here. The VS-3 is here. Now, if you guys follow my channel, you would have probably seen the review of this monitor. And as you can see, the VS-3 looks identical, and I think that's pretty much because it's, for the most part, it is identical to the VS-3. You know, aside from the price, this one retails at for $380, so it's a little bit more expensive than the VS-2, but it offers a lot more features. And when you also consider the fact that it offers features that are, you know, usually only available in monitors that are over $1,000, then $380 price tag is really great. The monitor, like I said, aside from, especially from the front, it looks identical to this one. And in the back here, if you look at it, really the only major difference is the fact that this one has the HDMI in and HDMI out, as opposed to the VS2, which only has HDMI in, does not have the out. So this one basically allows you to loop through the HDMI signal. And now both of these monitors have the same kind of image quality, which I think is great, especially for, you know, if you're working on location with your camera and you just want to be able to better compose your shots and also make sure you get your focusing properly. The resolution of these screens is a 1024 by 600 pixels at 800:1 contrast ratio, and the screen size is 7 inches. And if you watch the review of the VS2 monitor, you'll see that the color rendition and just the kind of quality that you get on the screen is really good. So again, both of these have pretty much an identical display. I don't think there's really any difference. The major difference is with the software. Now, the VS3 has a few extra functions that the VS2 doesn't, and the two major ones is the audio meters and also the false color. Now, if you know anything about false color, you know that's an amazing tool for getting perfect exposure, especially when you're in situations where there's a lot of light glaring onto the screen. Now, the coding on these screens is good. I would say it's on par with some of the higher end, you know, monitors. Although, in my experience, even working with some of the most expensive monitors out there, there's no monitor that will just work perfectly when you have a lot of light, like it's up here, for example, in the studio, or for example, when you're outside and browse in the sunlight. When you have a lot of light, every monitor is going to have some reflections and glare, and that's when having false color comes in really handy, because then you don't have to rely on just looking at the actual quality of the image, but you can use false color to make sure that you're dialing in the exact exposure that you want for the shot. So here we're getting the image from the Sony A7S, and first thing here, I'll just click on the menu and I'll kind of show you some of the functions. So we have the assistant functions. You can go in here, you can turn on the monochrome view, so you can see everything in black and white, which is sometimes some people prefer for composition and for getting the focus right. You also have the false color, which you can activate up here. You can turn it on and off. I have also zebra. Now, most cameras have zebra, so I find that function is not, you know, at least I don't usually use it within the monitor, but if you have a camera that doesn't have zebra, then it's a great function. You also have peaking. Again, most modern cameras will have peaking, but in case you don't have it, you have it here in the monitor. You can also change the peaking color. There's also histogram that you can activate. And here's the volume bar that you can turn on. So as you can see here on the right side, you have the volume for the left and the right side. And like I said, it just allows you to this way monitor your audio levels. There's also a color bar. It also has camera mode, which is really great if you're using, let's say, the Canon 5D or some of the other Canon cameras, which don't work very well when you connect them to external monitors, because first thing is they kind of display black bars, you know, kind of, and the image itself is a lot smaller on the screen. Plus, when you're turning on and off the camera or switching any of the settings, then there's a lot of like a long wait period. Whereas by turning on this camera mode, that will take care of all of those problems basically with the Canon style you know, DSLRs. Then we have the mark. So for mark, we have the center mark you can turn out. You have different safe areas. This comes with your standard sort of television kind of guide safe areas, as well as wide aspect ratios. like for example the 1.85 or 2.35, CinemaScope. And next is the image. You have the scan mode. You can change over or under scan. Then you have the dot to dot, so you can actually zoom in, down to every pixel on your camera. So if your camera outputs, for example, 1080p, you can get better quality. Like you can really kind of helps you with focusing. And then you have zoom. Zoom, you can zoom in, 1.4 times, 5 times, 10 times, or you can also do the panamorphic or anamorphic, basically squeeze zoom at 2.35. So if you're using, for example, anamorphic lenses in your camera, and that will make your images kind of look like they're stretched horizontally. Well, with this function, you can correct that, so you can actually correctly see your image, which is a really great function. And usually, it's only available on higher-end monitors. So that comes standard with this monitor. And you can also horizontally, vertically freeze the image. You can also freeze the image in case you want to compare it to compare the shots. Then you have the color settings. You can change brightness, saturation, color, temperature, all that stuff. And then you also have shortcuts. You have 4 shortcuts, which are basically these buttons around the menu. And the cool thing about the shortcuts is, like I said, any of the functions that you've seen here in the menu, instead of having to go through the menu and actually turning them on, which can be kind of a hassle, you can program these 4 shortcuts. So you can easily, let's say you're using a lot of the anamorphic mode, you can program one of the buttons so you can quickly turn it on and off. Or let's say one of the zoom functions, so lets you help nail the focus. Again, you can program all of those in there. I, for example, program the horizontal and vertical flip, because many times I'll invert the monitor and use it upside down when I'm using it with my rig. Like for example, on the last feature film that I worked on, that this was my go-to monitor, and over there many times I used it in an upright position, sometimes upside down. So having those functions was really cool. And then my other shortcuts is the false color. So just pressing a button, boom, I can bring up the false color, make sure I get the exposure properly. Now, if you guys don't know how to use false color, I already did a tutorial before explaining exactly how you use it with another monitor. But again, you can apply the exact same rules to this monitor or any other monitor that you have that has false color in it. So if you guys are interested, just follow the first link in the description of this video. That will take you to my website, and I'm gonna post the video there. And then the other shortcut that I set up for myself is the safe areas, because I was shooting in the 2.35 wide aspect ratio, so I just wanted to have those the guidelines there for the so I knew what's within the safe area. And like I said, there's nothing more really to say about the monitor. Great, just like the VS2. What's great about it is that it's actually very small and thin. It's the smallest and thinnest monitor from the 7-inch monitors that I've used so far. It runs a really long time off of these Sony NPF style batteries. If you have the bigger one like this, it's gonna run you pretty much for like 4 or 5 hours. Really great in that sense. Light, it has built-in speakers. You can plug in your headphones also if you want to monitor the audio that way. It has the HDMI out, so this would be my main monitor usually, mounted on my camera. I would run the signal from my camera to the monitor, and then I would run the HDMI out to another monitor here for, let's say, the director. So he could, while I was setting up my shot, the director, or let's say if I'm doing a job for another client, they can kind of sit there and they can look at what I'm doing with the shot. Like I said, really great monitor. If you guys have this one, VS2, and if you like it, you'll probably want to get the VS3, like I said, so you can have the HDMI loop through and the audio monitor functions, and also the false color. If you don't have any monitors out there and you're looking for a good quality monitor, if you don't need some of those advanced functions, get the VS2. But if you want to be sort of future-proof and have all the functionality that you probably ever need, get the VS3. Great monitor. Right now retails for $380. Again, if you guys want to find the best deals, whether it's Amazon, eBay, or other places online where you can buy this, just check out my website at tomantosfilms.com, or click the first link in the description of this video, and that will take you to a post where I'm going to post all the links for the monitor and all the little accessories and things like that for it, like the batteries. Also on my website I have many other film equipment reviews, plus hours and hours of free filmmaking tutorials and a lot of exclusive tutorials. So if you guys are interested, go check that out. Again, at tomantosfilms.com. Anyways, thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.